And we're rolling. John.
Oh, you're not going to say it?
I'm not going to say it.
I was waiting for it. Welcome to another episode of Elbows Tight Podcast.
Oh, well, thank you, Jonathan. I'm done saying it. All right. How you been, man? Long time no see.
It has been a while. I think we've been exceptionally busy as of late.
Yeah. I mean, I see John every day because John now lives literally a stone's throw away from me.
I am across the street. Like
literally
across the street.
Yeah, so.
But now it's nice because he sees how busy I am. He's like, damn, that dude's just getting home.
Yeah.
You
know? No.
No? All right, bummer.
I'm so busy I don't even see. I'm like oh,
true.
The tears are home.
I just see him like chasing his kids everywhere, carrying kids, chasing kids, changing diapers.
Yeah, my house is like so crazy right now. It looks like we're tweakers because there's like shit everywhere. I'm sure you guys at home can attest when you have a newborn, toddler, teenagers, like life just gets so freaking crazy so quick. And the days just fly by. Like, I can't believe today's Friday already. When we're recording this Friday.
Yeah, it's interesting not knowing the real age group of our audience, right? Like, some guys are gonna like, hell no, I ain't got no family yet. And some are probably like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. I wonder, what are your guys' age groups at home? Because I think our YouTube analytics say most of you are between 24 and 35. So if you guys have kids, let me know. Like, how do you guys handle like training and jiu-jitsu and your kids and jobs and whatnot? Because right now having a 1-month-old as of this moment in recording, I have a 1-month-old, 18-month-old, and a 13-year-old, and it is crazy, man. Holy crap. I still get to train. I train usually. We have more classes now too. That's a new thing that just happened in the school. Now we have a fundamentals class. We talk about it all the time, how important a fundamentals class is. Our school recently started a fundamentals class. It started a Saturday no gi also. So that's pretty cool. I've been going to Tuesday, Thursdays gi, Saturday no gi. So except for to this weekend because I'm going to be busy. But
I think I probably need the fundamentals at this point. It's been 6 months since I've rolled.
Has it been that long? 6 months already?
Yeah, the surgery was in November, and I had to stop 2 or 3 weeks before the surgery.
Holy crap.
It feels like forever. I'm going to die next week.
I definitely think you're going to die.
No, I'm going to. But, I mean, it'll be interesting, too, because with my own kids, they got driver's ed 3 days a week, and, that's right during class time, so I got to work around that. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and that's the whole part about, like, I think another benefit of this podcast is I don't feel like a lot of other jiu-jitsu podcasts talk about the daily struggles of being a hobbyist practitioner
for sure,
and having to take care of your kids or stuff like that. Like, that's such an insightful thing I would love to hear from other successful practitioners on like how, like Matthew Gillette talked about it a little bit, right? Like he talked about how he always has to put his families first before he can train, and then his free time goes towards training and getting better for competition, stuff like that. But I'm like, man, my daughter gets a new diaper once every hour or two, like sleeps eats once every 2-3 hours. My toddler is like bouncing off the walls right now, and then my 13-year-old I can't even get a smile out of.
So what do you do if like it's 5 o'clock, you need to head to class, and your significant other's like, we need to clean the house?
Oh, then you don't go to class.
Right. What do you do?
That's it for those guys out there. That's a test. Listen to me. I failed it before.
Like, you ain't going nowhere. You might as well put that bag right back in the closet.
It literally just happened to me the other night. Like I was like, all right, I'm gonna head out to jiu-jitsu, and my wife was like, the house needs to be cleaned. I was like, all right, looks like I'm staying home for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I mean, is your coach understanding? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think it really depends on your coach, right? Because getting life in the way, like our professor talks to me about it all the time. He's like, look, you are being more consistent, but I know your life is crazy with kids and everything like that. And I did just finish my last assignment for my bachelor's degree, so now I'm officially done with college.
Woo-hoo!
So that's a huge thing off the table too. So, but it's like if you have that mutual like understanding between you, your academy, and you knowing that like, hey, look, like, I wish I could be here more. I wish I could dedicate more time to this. Like, when I'm here, but I just like life. I keep saying it. Life is just nuts, man.
I guess that's why it's a long haul, right? Nothing's easy in life or jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So both of them are a huge time commitment.
Yeah, I know. And it's like by the time like I get a black belt, my kids are going to be, colored belts in jiu-jitsu also, so it's going to be kind of cool because my toddler and my baby girl, they're both going to be in it. I'm going to actually probably get my toddler in it here pretty soon. Just take him to the mat and have him play on the mat and get comfortable with it.
I figure by the time you get that high up, I'll be getting at least my second stripe on my blue belt.
Yeah.
So,
you might be getting your blue belt again.
I mean, maybe at this point. At this point, I might have to turn it back in when I go back to class.
It's kind of like when Professor Jon first showed up, and you're like, you could just,
just take it. Whatever. We could start over at this point. I'm fine with that.
So he actually handed out stripes the other day.
What?
Yeah. There's a couple people in our academy that got some stripes.
Nice.
And everyone was like it feels so good. Like, thank you so much, because it's been so long since the adults class have been promoted. So they're like, holy crap! Like it hasn't. No one's been promoted since Sean took over. Not a single stripe has been given out. Well, I take that back. We had one promotion, and I think one person got a belt, and one person got a stripe.
Oh, good.
Which was Billy, got his brown belt. So
yeah, that's true.
But what are you most excited for about coming back after a long haul injury?
I'm excited to hang out with the fellas again, and I'm interested to see, for me, I've learned that if I stop doing something for a while and then I jump back into it, I really see how much I retain. So I'm interested to see what I've retained and what I haven't. But I'm also going into it a little differently this go around. I'm not going to roll as hard, and I'm going to be a little bit picky on who I roll with. And I think I'm just doing that now for injury purposes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Professor Sean, in the middle of class, at the end of class, he told everyone, look, if I don't roll with you, it's nothing personal. I just don't want to roll with you. Some nights my body can take it, some nights my body can't. Recently I've really seen a lot of jiu-jitsu accounts, black belts and stuff like that, talk about how it's okay to deny someone, you don't want to roll with them. You shouldn't feel bad because you're like, look, man, I appreciate you offering me a roll, but you're a little bit too much for me right now, and I'm really not in the mood to fight a ninja.
Yeah, look, I was thinking about it. I was like, I need a rash guard, or maybe I'll take a Sharpie and write it on my hand or something
handicap
that says no ego when I go in there, because it's hard for me to say no when somebody wants to roll. I get competitive, and I need to not do that. Is the whole thing.
What are you going to work on when you first get back? What is it going to be defense? Are you going to just pure technique, or what are you going to try to work on?
So honestly, when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I really need to start working on my timing. And I know you might think that's a little weird, right? But
no.
So me and Travis are doing this thing now that we're neighbors, where one move a day on the chessboard, right? One move a day. So it's going to take forever to finish a game. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, you know what my problem is I'm waiting too long when I'm rolling or when I'm in class, right?
Yeah.
I need to immediately just make the move, stop thinking about it, and just be quicker and be quicker. And that's something I'm going to try to focus on.
Yeah, Zach Miller kind of talked about that, right? It's the indecisiveness, or was it Zach that talked about it? One of our guests talked about, being more aggressive and just attack. You know what I mean? It's not okay to just sit around. You want to move. You want to progress. You don't want to just accept the position and whatnot. It's what you're talking about. So I don't think it's weird to say you want to work on timing at all.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely something that I need to work on too. Because sometimes I'll get in a bad position. I'll just be like, I know I need to do this, but I'll just hang out for a second. Do you guys experience that at home? Let us know. Because sometimes if I'm in half guard, I'm like, I'm going to hang out for a second. And then I miss my opportunity.
Yeah. Or you just that thinking upon it, it's already moved on. That the window's gone.
Yep. Absolutely. What are you most nervous about?
It's going to be funny when I say this, but the warm-ups. I know everybody's like, what? But look, those
warm-ups are stupid, bro.
Those forward rolls and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I don't even know if my shoulders are even going to be able to take something like that right now.
Yeah.
I can't really guard that kind of stuff when we do we do 1 million push-ups.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can do 2 right now.
Honestly, we haven't been doing that kind of warm-up lately.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, we still do the very general warm up of running around in circles, hip escapes up and down the mat. Sometimes we just circle up and do a little bit of calisthenics and a little bit of stretching, and then class starts. So,
because you just spent a couple weeks on Barambolos, right?
Yeah, we spent 2 weeks on Barambolos, and
That would be something I wouldn't be interested in. Like if I come back and I'm like, no.
So I thought the same thing, especially after the first day. I was like, man, Barimbolos are just not my thing. It just doesn't work for me. I don't even know why I'm trying to do this. By the end of the 2 weeks, though, like I figured out how my body needs to do it. You know what I mean? I figured out my feet positioning, how I need to invert and whatnot, and it got a whole lot easier. But will I use it? Probably. I'll use it every once in a while. Like I still don't think my body. I have short, thick legs, so it's hard to like hook legs when I'm inverting and whatnot. Cody's really good at it. Obviously, Cody has really long legs. Our brown belt, the school owner, and some people were great at it. And I used to think I wasn't able to invert and get my toes to the ground because like I got a little bit of a belly on me. But Cody pointed out, he's like, I don't think it's your belly. Like you joke like saying it's your belly, but I think it's literally just your lumbar. Your back just doesn't have the flexibility right now. And I was like, well, shit, I sit a lot, so that's probably why. So I think that's something I need to work on is just my general flexibility. You know, have you guys tried barrel bowling at home? That shit is hard sometimes, man. Like,
well, I find it works for me when somebody walks over and then they grab me and move me like I'm supposed to move. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how it's supposed to move. Oh, I got it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but you know,
man, it's been a while since it's just been us too on this, man. Like, we've had so many guests. Like, when was the last time? Shoot, and the cauliflower ear episode, right, where we talked about. Is it hot that chicks has cauliflower ears? Like,
yeah, hot or not? Yeah.
God, that was end of last year.
It's been a while.
Before your injury.
Yeah, before the surgery.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite, most recent episode interview that we've had?
The doctor, what's his name?
Neil Morris.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one, and I went and bought all the supplements he talked about in that one.
I enjoyed his episode so much. I'm actually having a consultation with him next week.
Yeah, I thought his was very insightful. I thought the knowledge was good, and I was like, man, it's some things that we can do, you know, on our own.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Who was your least favorite? I'm just kidding.
My least favorite? No. I don't really have a least favorite. I think every time we have someone on, I think they, you know, their insight, their point of views, it's always good. And honestly, it's always a little motivating when we get done. You know, it's like, all right, you know, I needed to hear that, and it's time to get back into the gym.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate hearing other people's journey and stuff through jiu-jitsu. The only thing, honestly, to be real with you guys at home, I feel kind of bad because we've been interviewing colored belts, like, you know, purple and above, for so long. I feel like we're kind of losing our roots a little bit on how we started this or why we started this podcast. If you guys don't feel that way, we can keep interviewing, you know, black belts, brown belts, and like all these people. But I definitely want to talk to like a blue belt, white belt, you know, someone that is experiencing going through the trenches the same way we are right now, because we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, there's a couple I'd like to talk to, especially some of the couple-year white belts.
Yeah.
You know, get where they're at mentally and see what's going on, see where they're at, check in with them.
There's definitely some people on social media, too, that I talk to that I'm like, I want to talk to this person and get their story. So if you guys have any guest ideas, please let us know, because we would love to talk to these people. Because honestly, like, the podcast has been doing so good lately. It's insane, man. Like, we just got picked up by Manscaped for another go-around. So thank you guys at home for using our code and sharing our videos and liking our content, because
I'm a horrible actor, for one.
John's great.
No,
yeah, it's so good. Like, what's so funny is everyone hit us up and was like, dude, those Manscaped promos are hilarious. If you guys didn't see them, they're on our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of them. So they were pretty funny. And John and I have some more in our mind that were coming up. So, but speaking of Manscaped, it's a great product.
It is a great product. I use it. Yeah. I mean, I use all the stuff they gave us, and now I look for it every morning. You know, I'm like, I'm digging it.
Yeah. Quick promo. We'll do the little promo real quick.
My wife likes it too, by the way.
Yeah. Wait, does she use it?
No, I mean, she said they're super smooth.
There you go.
It's nice.
You're like thanks, Manscaped.
Yeah.
No, man, like, I always joke when the clippers are great. If you guys are at home and you're on the fence about the clippers are phenomenal. The Lawnmower 4.0 is great. They have the ceramic blades, waterproof technology. They are fantastic, absolutely great. But my favorite thing are the accessories, like the crop preserver, the ball deodorant. Like, those are my favorite thing, especially for jiu-jitsu, because if you put the crop preserver on, it's like an anti-chafing, which really helps when you're running or you're doing jiu-jitsu or something like that. And it makes sure that, sometimes things like to stick down there. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes they're a little smelly and you got to go do something and you feel disgusting afterwards.
I'm not bullshitting. I have tapped by smell alone.
Yeah, yeah.
I have fed a submission so I can get out of the roll.
My ball smells so good now. People are like, that's great.
Do you like north-south?
No, but if you guys want, you get with code ETP20 at checkout, you get 20% off and worldwide shipping for free anywhere in the world. And that also, my wife kept wanting me to say that it does work on sale items. So if it's on sale and it's discounted, you put ETP20 on it, and you get an extra 20% off and free shipping, local, U.S. and internationally. So if you guys want to go check it out, please go ahead and use our code. There's more on there than just trimmers. I'm telling you, they have lip balm, they have underwear, their boxers. Absolutely great. I love their boxers. I always forget to mention their boxers. Those things are great, man.
Well, they're great for definitely working out. You don't have to worry about anything popping out of those bad boys.
Yeah. They're kind of like a thick, silky. I don't want to say silky, but they're like very soft. But they're snug and they're fantastic. So if you want to also get something for your loved one, you guys can use code ETP20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. So that's a quick promo for that. And like I said, we got picked up again for them, and so now we're working with Manscaped for a long term. So thank you guys. It's so weird to think we're coming up on 3 years.
That's unbelievable.
June 11th is 3 years of doing this podcast. And if you would have told me 3 years ago we would be where we are now, I would have not have ever guessed it.
It's the only other thing I've done for 3 years that's kind of a hobby is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
And you're not nearly as successful as this podcast.
That's what you're 100%. I will agree to that. I got no problem with that.
But it's so cool, man. Like, we've got to talk to people that we've literally followed since the beginning of jiu-jitsu, like Roy Dean, Chad Wesley Smith, Jason Khalipa, Nathan Orchard. I never thought in a million years I would sit across the table from Nathan Orchard and have a beer with him and BS.
Who'd have thought we'd ever meet any of these people?
I know,
we're we're paying for their stuff, and then we're talking to them. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's so humbling that people are giving us the time to listen to us and whatnot. Like, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I'm always saying thank you to you guys, but truly, man, like, it's great. Like, the YouTube's doing good, the social media is doing good, man, and because of that, we're getting sponsors and whatnot, but we're always looking for more sponsors. If John and I could turn this into a day job, you would be able to hear our annoying voices even more often.
Yeah, that's true. It would be interesting, and Travis is like a professional editor at this point.
Man, I put so much effort into all of our content, man.
I mean, maybe you should have got your college degree in that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think Professor YouTube taught me a lot of jiu-jitsu and a lot of editing. I'll tell you that. If I have a question about anything, YouTube is the way to go. And quick plug for one of our episodes, Jordan Pressinger. Jordan Teaches Jiu-Jitsu on YouTube. If you guys haven't listened to that episode, that is our all-time most downloaded episode, and there's a reason. It is great, man. Holy crap, that was another very, very good interview. Sometimes we talk to these people and this is no disrespect to any guest, but we ask these people to come on, and sometimes we know a lot about them, sometimes we don't know too much about them, and we're always like, is this going to be a good interview? And every single time, every guest has been a phenomenal interview, and sometimes they're even better than we expect. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, this is going to be a good interview, and then we're done, and we're like, holy crap, that was a good freaking interview, man.
Yeah, I think we've learned a bit over the years on how we can be better when we're hosting the guests, and we figured out it's definitely bad to do during the week after work.
Yes,
because we're both exhausted, and it just but we've learned now.
Yeah,
Fridays are great because we can relax.
Yep, Sundays are usually our recording days because we don't really, our plates are usually pretty clean on that. Sundays were usually my school days, but now I don't have school anymore, so I ain't really got to worry about that. So,
I've heard, I've had a lot of people ask me about podcasts lately and how to start them. Maybe you should do like some tips for people that are interested in starting a podcast.
Man. Like right now?
Like if I was like, hey man, I'm thinking about doing a podcast on book reviews. Any recommendations on equipment or? Well,
outsource everything. Use your phone. Outsource everything. I'll tell you what, man, it is hard. What's funny is Jiu-Jitsu Dummies just posted a reel where they talk about like someone asked like, "Hey, I want to start a podcast. Do you have any tips?" He's like, "Yeah, don't start a podcast. It's really hard." It is true. It's like I didn't think that it was going to be as much work as it is when we first started, you know, and then as we started to grow, we wanted to expand our reach more and more, so we had to take on more and more content, right? So we started doing video, we started doing social media, right? We started blogs, like YouTube. Did I say YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we, you know, putting out extra content, and then we were like, okay, well, our podcast is a very narrow reach. Like we should probably start thinking about how we can reach practitioners that don't listen to the podcast, so we can help them also. So that's when we started doing the extra content on YouTube, like our 9 gift guides for your beginning grappler and all our YouTube clips and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of work. And my recommendation for anyone that wants to start a podcast is if you don't have the skills right away, that's okay. You can always use a website like Fiverr to hire like an editor or something like that to get your stuff up and running. And if you, and they're usually relatively cheap if you find the person that you want. It's a scale, like you can get like $10 an episode up to like $150 an episode.
That'd have been me.
Yeah,
$10.
ranting. But so I would say outsource everything unless you absolutely want to learn how to do all this stuff. I love tech. I love editing. I love content creation. So everything that you see, I've just worked my butt off to get it to where we're at. And I'm never really happy with it. I'm always like watching our own stuff. And I'm like, man, I could have done this differently. I could have done that differently.
He's tried to teach me several times.
Yeah.
But, you know,
John can't even set up the podcast.
I'm like, what? Yeah. Some of us are techie advanced and some
I'll
of
tell
us
you what,
aren't.
though. You know, I always joke about like you know, me having to do the stuff on the back end. But this podcast wouldn't be the same if you weren't on it. So...
Well,
like,
thanks, man. But you do a great job, too.
no, I mean, I just talk too much.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you know, it's like I sit behind the scenes.
It makes me sound smarter if I let you do most of the talking and I just throw out like one little
Are you saying I
tidbit.
sound stupid?
I didn't say that at all.
Do I sound stupid?
No, you don't sound stupid.
But if you want to start a podcast and you want serious advice and guidance, hit me up on Instagram at Elbows Tight Pod. I am willing to talk to anyone and help anyone to start a podcast. One of my best friends from the Navy, he saw that we had a podcast and it was being successful, and so he's like, well, if Travis can have a podcast, I can have a podcast. And I didn't really know if that was like an insult or not, but now he has he has 2 podcasts. You know what I mean? Anyone can start a podcast. If you can think of a topic that you want to do, you can start a podcast. The only thing I would steer away from is general conversation podcasts, just because there's so many out there. You want to find your niche. You want to find what you want to talk about, whether it's jiu-jitsu or whether it's content creation, 3D printing, like book clubs, whatever it is. You want to find your niche and then narrow your topic down as much as you possibly can. For us, we're trying to target the beginning practitioner, the white and early blue belts, right? The people that are going through those struggles, still trying to figure out their jiu-jitsu and their game and everything like that. That's who we're trying to target. So just some of those things. If you honestly want to do it, just know what you want to talk about and who the person you want to talk to, like the exact person, like if you could draw them. So, but yeah, that's a good question, man, because I like talking to people, especially other podcasters, on how they do their stuff. And when they're more successful and larger than we are, because I'm like, man, what are they doing that I can implement for us?
Yeah, I remember when you and Roy were talking about the cameras. I was like, look at these 2 geeks. They know exactly. They're talking about lenses and all this. I'm over here like,
Well, that's like if you go through our like Instagram DMs, like all the people that I talk to are podcasters or content creators and whatnot, and I'm always asking the questions about what gear they use, how they edit, like what software they use, if they hire people, how do they hire people, how do they make money? That's like the biggest thing that I'm trying to figure out right now, is how the hell to make money. Manscaped, we are on a paid contract with them. Luckily, this is our first paid thing. It's not very much, but it is enough to pay for our subscriptions and stuff like that. So that's freaking cool. So now I'm like, we can do it. Like, we can freaking do it, man.
yeah, we don't have to keep tapping the acorns.
Yeah, I don't even have acorns anymore. Right? That shit's in a squirrel's jaw somewhere. It's gone. I'm just trying to save my marriage with how much money this
Right,
thing.
right. And look, I just need to get one more thing. One more thing.
Well, honestly, we haven't upgraded anything in here in a long time. So,
And we don't need to.
yeah,
It's good.
everything's
It's
great.
legit.
People always tell us that we have supreme quality, which is very, very cool because we put a lot of effort into it. John may not know a lot of the technology stuff, but John does know quality. And he does know when our shit sounds good and when it doesn't, and when we have good interviews and when we don't. So that's what you contribute, man.
We need to get a good beer sponsor if we got any beer listeners out there.
Hey, what's the beverage of the day today, then?
It's the Big Wave Golden Ale from Kona Brewing Company, and it's really good. We're trying to like watch the stomach, so we're trying to lay off the IPAs a little bit and go a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I literally haven't been wanting to drink IPAs lately because they're just like, you go through those phases, right?
Yeah.
You're like I'm going to drink porters and stouts. Now I'm going to drink Bud Lights. Now I want to drink IPAs. Now I want to drink Hefeweizens. You know what I mean? Like the extremes and whatnot of what your palate is.
Is that how yours is? Mine goes by like putting on my jeans. Like once I can't like snap them comfortably, I'm like, all right, it's time to go to like a lighter beer. You know?
I mean, I've been fat for a while, so it's like that's been out of my mind for a while now.
Like no more IPAs this month.
I think, well, yeah, IPAs, man, they're so good though. But
They are, but man, it's like one of those is like a full meal.
yeah, very true. And it's like when you go to class, we did this after the Nathan Orchard podcast or Nathan Orchard seminar. We had beer right afterwards,
did.
right? Could you imagine us sitting there with like a thick IPA?
No.
What did we have? I don't remember.
We had some Ridge Tops.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Ridge Top Red.
I think we had some Ridge Top Reds. Man, they make some good beer.
Man, Ridge Top, hit us up.
Yeah, Silver City, phenomenal.
Yeah, no, but you know, do you guys like to drink after, like when you get home from jiu-jitsu, if you like have a good training session? Because sometimes when I get home, I'm like, man, I'm exhausted. I take a shower, maybe have a shower beer, you know what I mean? And then I hang out on the couch, watch TV with the family, and usually fall asleep on the couch because I'm so freaking tired. But do you guys drink afterwards?
I have a seat in my shower now, so it's like I can sit and drink my beer.
Where's your life alert at, though?
It's on my wrist.
Is it one of those?
Hey,
those,
if I fall, it just calls 911.
Is it one of those like tub chairs, like where they have like the
who
side
cares?
door that
It's
you open
nice.
up?
It's like teak wood. It's really nice.
No, that's funny, man. Are you gonna compete again once you get fully recovered?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't. I'd like to keep doing this. You know, like I have to start thinking. You know, like how long, right? I don't want to break down too much, and then I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've been going back and forth about competing. I had to back out of my last tournament because it was so close to my wife's due date, and I was like, I don't really think me driving 3 hours to this tournament and then being there for 5 hours and then driving 3 hours home is conducive to a wife that's, you know, at term. So I was like, well, maybe she didn't have the baby then. She was 5 days late, but I mean, I wouldn't have known that. I didn't want to risk it, you know, for a $5 medal, maybe a broken arm. So.
Well, like I said, I'm shifting my strategy, my thoughts. You know, the way I was training before, where I wanted to win all. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna so much focus like that when I go back. It's gonna be more like 2 to 3 days a week and just going to class and doing it for the calories and learning, and not so much the winning.
Yeah. Who said that for do it for the cal? Wasn't that
Jordan, yeah. And it stuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, anytime I don't want to do something now, like get up at 4 a.m. and run on the treadmill, it's just like I just tell myself, just do it for the calories.
Do it for the calories, man. That's what I need to do. Not eat for the calories, but like exercise.
That's the only reason I'm doing it is like just do it for the calories. Do it for the calories. Just get up.
Yeah.
You know?
Recently, I kind of stopped doing my Juggernaut strength and conditioning program just because our garage is a hot mess. We have a shed coming on the way that we can open up the garage. Too much information. You guys don't really care. But so our home gym is kind of like packed away right now with just stuff all around it. So we started doing CrossFit. Lordo and I started doing CrossFit again. Bro.
Smoking you?
I'm hurting. I'm over here walking like Ric Flair. Like, whoa!
If I even hear wall balls, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's nice being back and working out like regularly because we're on baby leave. But man, my body my mind is telling me no.
What are you going to do when you got to go back to work? In case people don't know, in the federal government now, you get 12 weeks
12
off.
weeks. I have 12 paid weeks.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It almost makes me want to have more kids, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when I go back, I don't know, man. It's going to be weird having to pick up 2 kids instead of 1.
Yeah.
You know, putting 2 kids down for a nap. It's like, I don't even want to think about it. That's 2 months away. You got me stressing out over here, Jonathan. I'm like trying to play it out in my head. It's like, what am I going to have to do when jiu-jitsu comes around? Like,
so when you tell people, just sleep as much as you can before you have those babies.
Yeah, yeah. People always say, no, I don't need to sleep
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
like, I'll be fine.
I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, no, you're going to feel dead when you have them kids. Let me
True.
tell you. I didn't think it was going to affect me as much as it did for this go around because it's so close to the other baby. But I would be in class, and I'm like, I literally can't move. Like, I'm so dead. Like, I am literally just sitting here dying.
Yeah.
You know? So that's one thing that sucks really bad. But Aria, our baby girl, our newborn, she is so much easier than Kale, our toddler. She sleeps by herself already at 1 month, and you know she sleeps throughout the day pretty regularly. You know, they go through those moments when it's like, I ain't sleeping, motherfucker. Get your face out.
So you'll have work, jiu-jitsu, kids, working out, and just general life, man.
Yeah. But no college.
Well, there's one thing off the plate.
And podcast. Don't forget we're going to podcast too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's been a fun couple months. Fun 3 years. Coming up on 4 years in jiu-jitsu too.
Damn.
I think May is 4 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
Hope we have a barbecue or something.
Probably not.
Yeah, we'll see.
So if there's anyone that you guys want us to talk to at home or a topic you want us to talk about at home, please let us know. One of our listeners sent me an article where it was talking about a man at a Costco gas station ended up getting in a fight. One guy punched the other one in the face. The guy that got punched fell to the ground, fractured his skull, and later died.
That's the worst. I've read a couple stories like that before. I was like, man, not only did the guy die, but you know, the guy that threw the punch is going to be in jail for a long time.
And we always talk about this, and you know, other practitioners talk about it too. Like, what's the point of fighting? Like, I've learned since starting jiu-jitsu that I don't want to fight people. Like I don't want to use my jiu-jitsu on people. You know what I mean? Like if I have no ego in fighting people anymore. You know what I mean? Like if someone wants to be big and bad, yeah, you got it. Yeah, you're big and bad, bro. That's fine. You know what I mean? But know that I will defend myself if someone comes at me. But it's like road rage. What's the point? Someone cuts me off. Oh well.
You know, you might find yourself in an interesting situation, and we talked about it. I was telling Travis, me and my wife were at Lowe's, and this guy was coming out of the store while I was going into the store. And he was stealing a weed eater. He just pulled it off the shelf and was walking out. I could tell he was stealing it, and you know the employees were behind him trying to get him to stop. And I had like those splits, you know, those seconds where I was thinking, and I was like,
foot trip.
Should I just grab this guy? And then I was like, but what are the repercussions if I grab this guy? You know, and
yeah,
it bothered me all day. You know, but I was like, you never know. You might be in those type situations where you can do something about it, but.
I know.
You?
That's the whole other thing, right? Is it's nice that we know how to defend ourselves, and you know, we could probably control most people in Gen Pop, right? But you don't know who someone is. Like you could think this person is a skinny, scrawny dude that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Come to find out, he's a cold-blooded killer, and he's just waiting for someone to turn it on. You know what I mean? Like,
and you know, people are weird. I met a martial artist that owns a place out here in town.
Oh yeah,
probably about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
Funny.
I was looking at buying a vehicle, and I went and looked at one he was selling. He was actually pretty upset with me when I told him I wasn't going to buy it. Sent me a nasty email. But anyway, when I was talking to him, he said that he's comfortable whenever he's in Seattle, and you know he could fight 6 or 7 people if he had to walking down the street at one time. And I was thinking in my head, you're absolutely crazy. Like there is no way anyone on this earth is going to take down 6 or 7 people like at once. No, you know I don't see that happening.
Yeah, no, and not only that, but like, what happens when you fall to the ground because someone maybe sucker punched you or something? Like,
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, how you gonna fight 6, 7 people on the ground on your back? Shit, I can barely defend against one most
I'm like
nights.
6 or 7, and I mean, he said it with like utter confidence. I was like, no way.
And no offense to other martial arts, but that's where that false sense of confidence comes from when you don't practice live sparring, right? Like when you're just like, and it maybe I don't know the guy, but I'm sure there's other people out there that are like, nah, bro, I see red, I'll take him out.
I always think of that video that was out a couple years ago, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a high-level black belt jiu-jitsu competition guy, and I think it was Brazil or wherever he was
Oh
at.
yeah, he ended up getting
On the
killed, right?
motorcycle, yeah. He, got road rage, and got off his motorcycle, and the other guy was out his car, and he kept going at the guy. The guy was kind of like going back.
He even pulled his gun out and said, "Stop, stop."
Yeah, he pulled his gun out and told the guy to stop, and he didn't stop, and he ended up shooting and killing him. And I was like, man,
Yeah,
like,
he was a Brazilian world champ.
yeah, I was like, what are you thinking? Like, like.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu doesn't make you invincible. Even in that scenario where the guy, got punched and fell to the ground, like that could be you.
Yeah.
Your jiu-jitsu doesn't work when you fall to the ground and crack your skull. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you could be confrontational, like, I'm just gonna go confront this guy. Maybe he cut me off or something like that, and then, bam, the guy just you walk up and he's having a bad day and just straight cold clocks you right there. Boom, you're dead. Like, what's the point, man?
Yeah.
Like, people don't let your ego get in the way. Leave it at the door. Like,
Yeah, 100%. It's not worth it.
It's like sometimes, like my wife, she'll get a little bit of road rage or something like that, and I'm like, babe, just calm down. Like it's honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Like people in cars feel invincible, and I don't understand it, man. Because all it takes is someone to pull up next to you or run you off the road, and that shit ends.
I'm glad I learned the road rage at a real young age. I think I was 16, and I had a bad case of road rage, and I was talking shit and pointing at the guy and all that, and I was like, pull over, and I pulled over, and then he pulled over, and he was behind me. When that dude got out of his car, I think he was like 6'6", 300 something pounds. I was maybe a $120, 5'5". I immediately lost all the rage that I had over the headset.
I'm good.
And put that shit in drive, and I took off. And that was a lesson for me. I learned right
That's
there
so
and there.
funny.
Like, that will never happen again. You never know who you're getting fired up with.
You know what's so funny is I had a buddy who was a Navy diver when I was in Guam, and this guy was like a martial artist when he was a kid and whatnot, and has like some serious rage. Like even when we were stationed in Guam, this guy would pull over consecutively and challenge people in traffic to come and fight him, right? But he told us a story. He's like, yeah, one time I got road rage. I was in my early 20s. And I told this guy to pull over. He pulled over, got out of the car, and I was like, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna beat your ass. He's like, that man whooped me up and down the street, sat me on my tailgate, and then gave me a speech on why I shouldn't do that.
I bet that stuck with him too.
Yeah. Well, obviously he did it because he still tries to fight people. Like, but it's true, man. Like he's like, it was some old Marine, and he just beat my ass, and now I was like, all right, man, I deserve that. Like,
Probably be his best friend now.
yeah, no. And I put out on our Instagram story a couple weeks ago, I think it was. I thought we were going to record sooner, but once again, life happens. Where I was like, hey, what are some questions you guys have? We got a couple. One of them was, how do you curate content to all the content that's online? Like, how do you curate it for yourself? And I thought that was a very interesting question, because with YouTube, with all these online academies, Roll TV, Roy Dean, the Gracie University, I mean, Jiu-Jitsu X, BJJ Fanatics, right? There's just so much content. And people can honestly be so overwhelmed on where do they start. Like, how do you curate that content? Like, John, how would you do that?
I treat it just like jiu-jitsu, honestly. I only look for a certain topic or something that I want to focus on. So if I'm searching that for the internet, I won't even look at any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
I will just focus on those pieces. And honestly, if I find something I like, then I'll save it. And, I create like little folders, and then I'll go in there and look.
Yeah.
But that's the same way. And I do the same thing with jiu-jitsu. Like, regardless of what's going on, what's being taught, I will have those things that I want to work on, and that's really what I'm trying to focus on, and that's all I'll do.
Yeah, that's really good too, because I was going to kind of say the same thing, right? I'll take what I'm working on, or what I'm getting stuck on, or something someone else did that I want to counter or learn how to do, right? So It's really scenario based. If you just go to bjjfanatics.com and you just start scrolling through, you're going to see a million things from well-known black belts to guys you probably never heard of to things you didn't even know existed, right? And you're just going to be so overwhelmed. So if you are looking to curate your own library of techniques from online resources, that's like, what do you want to work on? What do you want to get good at? What are you getting stuck at? And what are things that interest you, right? Choose one of those three. Don't just go in there blindly like, I want to go buy a new BJJ Fanatics. Like, this sounds great. And then you get it and you're like, I don't know why I bought this.
So I really like the BJJ flow maps. I pay
Yeah.
for those, and I like that. Once you buy it, it's yours, and it's easy on all my Apple devices. I can go back, and I like the way it starts from one position and then it branches off.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's been so long since I've actually consumed jiu-jitsu content outside of class. Outside of class, because we were at a point where I was learning so much in class, I didn't want to take up unnecessary space, because if professor's showing me it, it's because professor wants me to know it. You know what I mean? So it was like one of those things like, well, I could go research some thing that I want to work on, but is that going to help me in what professor's teaching me? And Zach kind of talked about this. Zach Miller kind of talked about this, right? Like, have your game. If you want to work on something, work on that one thing for a month, pay attention to what's in class. But when it comes to the live sparring, go ahead and work on what you want to work on. And I agree and kind of disagree with that, because to me, in like our academy, like I just said, like, if your professor is teaching you something, it's because he wants you to know that, right? Now, when it comes to like promotion, or if you're retaining information, if you don't ever use anything that he shows or she shows you, then how do they know that you're retaining what they're teaching? You know what I mean? So that was the only pushback I had on that, but I understand what he's trying to say. Like, if I want to get really good at half guard, I need to work on half guard all the time, right? Like, I need to force half guard. I need to get stuck in half guard or whatever it is, right? But if professor's teaching arm triangles or heel hooks or something like that because he wants everyone to advance in a certain way, it's kind of like, well, maybe I should pay attention to that too. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about that? That's a pretty good topic. Would you guys, when you're in class, do you try to focus on what you want to learn, or do you try to implement what you're being taught? And how do you guys pick your online content? A lot of times, what's so funny is Gary Tonin. Do you know who Gary Tonin is?
It sounds familiar.
He's a black belt, 1FC fighter. He was part of the John Danaher Death Squad, and he just unfortunately got knocked out during his title fight in 1FC. He was trying to do heel hooks and whatnot, and but he ended up getting knocked out. Guy just started wailing on him when he was going for some ankle lock. And he posted a picture that had me dying laughing. It's like Instagram black belts. Are you trying these techniques before you're putting them out? He's like, there's a whole lot of fake techniques out there that would never work in a live sparring match, but they look cool.
Yeah,
they look cool.
I could see that.
Yeah, and I talked to a couple people that have that are black belts that have their own instructionals online, and I'm like, man, how do you like get recognized? Because there's just so much. Like, do you ever look at these instructionals? You're like, that would never work. And they're like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of instructionals out there that's like, that shit's not gonna work. Like, but people put them out, and people buy them. So,
well, who was it? I think it was Nate that said he won't show anything unless he's hit it in a match.
Yeah,
remember?
Nathan
and
Orchard.
I was like,
yeah.
I like that, right?
Yeah,
because it works.
Yeah, exactly. So, but John, you got anything else, man?
No, man. Excited to get back into training. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't throw up.
Come back. You're definitely going to throw up.
Oh, we'll try not to.
Remember, don't hold your breath. You can still pass out.
Oh, man, yeah, for sure.
So, hey, thank you guys so much for listening at home. We just wanted to put an episode out there just to give you guys an update on everything that's coming. After this, we're going to go back into our interviews, and we'll be doing the bi-weekly content, and we'll also be doing, the ads and whatnot for Manscaped. So, thank you guys. Please listen to those. Please use our code ETP20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping worldwide. And so that's pretty much it. John?
No oil checks.
Guys, thanks for watching and listening. Catch you later. Peace.